Okay, so today we are going to be looking at a Spider-Man 3 movie tie-in comic. This is called Spider-Man 3 The Black. I believe this was released around November 2007, and it is still up and available on the Marvel website as we're looking at right now. You can click on it right here, and you can enter your zip code and see if there's a store near you selling it, which I'm not sure if there will be because this is a, older comic. But anyway, what I thought I would do in this video is actually explain this comic and kind of go through it, because luckily we have the people of Internet Archive who actually have this comic available to read. So before we get started, I just want to say I will leave the link to the official Marvel page for this comic, and I will leave the Internet Archive page where you can read the comic for free. Also, before we get started, I would just like to thank the person who suggested I should take a look at this comic. We have the writer, Brian Michael Bendis, penciler, Mark Badgley, inker, Scott Hanna, colorist, Andrew Crossley, letterer, VC's Chris Eliopoulos, handbook writer, Jonathan Cooper Smart. I don't believe that Sam Raimi or anyone like that worked on this. So basically it starts off with that scene where, Eddie looks up and he discovers Peter ripping off the symbiote in the church. And then the symbiote goes on to Eddie and he's like, what is this? Get it off me. And then, we've got the title, The Black. And so here we got a really good shot of Venom. He's like saying, this is all over me. It's trying to control me. It's breathing. Then Eddie's saying, what happened to me? What is this? I'm dead. No, calm down. Just calm down. And he's saying, I can't get it off. I can't stop this. And he says, what have I done? Parker, what did you do to me? And then we got these people over here having a conversation with a hot dog vendor, I think. And, he's saying it's closed, but then, they look over, they see this shadowy figure, which is Venom, and they're like, what is that? And so Venom just kind of webs them, and then he basically just screams in their face, and then I'm not really sure what happens to them after that, if he kills them or I don't know, eats them alive or something. The comic doesn't really show anything that happens to them after that. Then we got this really important shot right here. I really like this shot right here because it really explains the symbiote. And this is something that Spider-Man 3, the actual movie, did not do. It was more implied in the movie. So first off, we got these lines here. He's saying, what is this? My mind is on fire. What am I seeing? Whose life is this? This is somebody else's. And if you look over, we've got these memories, and these memories are Peter Parker's memories. But Eddie is not realizing this. See, we got the Green Goblin, I think this is Flash Thompson up here, and we look at the hand, that's Peter's hand getting bitten by the spider. We got Aunt May, Doc Ock, and so we're back to reality again. And so Venom is seen by the police, and the police are obviously freaked out by this, and so they just automatically start firing at him, but the symbiote just absorbs it. And so he's trying to web at them, but eventually he gets knocked down and knocked out. And Eddie is thinking to himself, Parker. So I think he's starting to think here that those memories that he was having were Peter Parker's memories. And so he actually just gets right back up after being fired at by all those bullets, and he just, gets out of there. And so now he's thinking to himself, Parker did this to me. Parker set me up. He destroyed me. That's what this is, right? I'm ruined. I'm a monster. And so he thinks this is Peter Parker's fault. He says, why am I... He's looking at his hands, and then we get a shot of Spider-Man's hands. He says, what is it? What is in my head? And so he's getting even more memories of Peter Parker, when he was all muscular in the mirror in that first movie. We get a good comic shot of that. And so, yeah, he realizes Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he's having all of these memories of Peter Parker, and the symbiote is telling him this, basically. So what the movie didn't explain was that the symbiote keeps the memories of the person that it was bonded to. And now that it's transferred from Peter Parker to Eddie Brock, Eddie now has Peter's memories. He goes on to say, "It was on Parker. Now it's on me. It knows everything about Parker. It has his memories. He was Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man. It wants me to get Parker. The Black wants Parker. It's showing me how to get him. Showing me how to find him." And then, we got that shot of Bully Maguire here. "If you want forgiveness, find religion." Which that wasn't the exact line. It was, "You want forgiveness, get religion." But still, it's pretty funny. We have a Bully Maguire shot. I mean, this is a movie tie-in comic, but still, it's pretty funny. And so he's like, anything he has, I can have. And so he decides to go to the Stacy residence. And so his plan is now to, I suppose, kidnap Gwen Stacy. And Captain Stacy, her father, gets a call, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I gotta go over there." And then we've got Venom kind of like watching from the distance. And so Venom sneaks in the house. And so, yeah, he's basically got like this revenge plan going on to like kidnap Gwen because, we saw that jazz club scene, and Eddie obviously watched them both go into the jazz club together on that date. However, he stops short of his plan of trying to do that because he looks over at this file and he sees that Flint Marko was Uncle Ben's killer. And so he's like, okay, I got a better plan. And so Gwen just kind of looks over, she sees the window open, but Venom is out of there, he's gone, and she just closes it. And so finally we get that scene where Venom approaches Sandman, and it's basically the same as the movie. Sandman, he thinks that Venom is Spider-Man for a second. He's like, "End of the line, Spider-Man." And Venom's like, "I want him dead too, Flint." And then Venom says, "That's why I've been looking for you. I know all about you, like the fact that Spider-Man won't let you help your poor daughter." Which, I'm not sure how Venom knows that Sandman has a daughter. It could probably be that he read the file earlier in this comic. But in the movie, that doesn't make any sense. Even Peter didn't even know that Sandman had a daughter. Unless there was some unexplained deleted scene or something, but I don't know. It was probably more likely because he read the file. And yeah, the conversation, like I said, pretty much just plays out the same way in the movie. He's like, "That just doesn't seem right to me. I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. Together, he doesn't stand a chance. Interested?" And Sandman says, "Yeah." And so then we kind of have Eddie having this conversation with the symbiote again. And he's planning on kidnapping Mary Jane. And once again, we have that shot of Bully Maguire. He's really fixated on that one line, "If you want forgiveness, find religion." Then he goes on to say, "I want you more, I want to hurt you." He's saying, "I want to hurt Peter," basically. And yep, just like the movie, he's the taxi driver. Mary Jane gets in the taxi. Eddie looks back and he says, "So, where to?" And he grabs her. Alright, so we have Mary Jane suspended in the taxi. And he's talking to Mary Jane. We have this interesting conversation here. He says, "He's the liar is the thing," talking about Peter. You know that. "He kissed her. Gwen Stacy. My Gwen. He kissed her in front of both of us." He's saying, "I'm going to get him back for you, Mary Jane. For all of us. He's going to pay for what he's done to you. He doesn't love you the way I love you." And then we get some dialogue off to the side from Sandman saying, "What are you doing?" And then Venom's like, "I'm having a moment." But Sandman is like, "Spider-Man, This is about Spider-Man. Venom says, I know. This is what he cares about the most in the world. His heart is filled with her. Her and her. He'll come to get her. Then you do your thing. You just keep everyone else away from us. Sandman says maybe he won't come. But Venom says he'll come. And then we can flip a coin to decide if we'll kill him in front of her. Or her in front of him. Either way, I'm good. Put her in the cab. Get ready, he's coming. And Sandman says, how do you know? And Venom says, it can feel him. And that's it. We get that last shot with Spider-Man swinging. Yeah, that's kind of a cliffhanger ending, but that is basically the comic. So that was Spider-Man 3 The Black, a Spider-Man 3 movie tie-in comic. Let me know what you thought about this comic. I definitely thought it added a little bit more depth than what we saw in the actual movie. You know, like how in this comic it explains how the symbiote actually transfers the memories from each host. And then we have that one scene in this comic where Venom actually goes to the Stacy residence, and it seemed like he was going to kidnap Gwen, but he didn't because he saw that file of Flint Marko, and that explains how he knows who Flint Marko is. It would have been interesting if Eddie would have kidnapped Gwen instead of Mary Jane, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Eddie should have kidnapped Gwen, or do you think him kidnapping Mary Jane was better for the story? I think him kidnapping Mary Jane was probably better for the story, at least in my opinion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this comic, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And with that being said, I'll see you next upload.